Good morning. Okay, so I am in Temecula right now, and so last night when I was driving out away from San Diego, we're about I don't know 2-3 hours out from San Diego, heading towards Denver, and so I was kind of thinking, what would be a good stop to stop by, right? Because from Houston to California, um, I'm actually to post a map and teach you guys like how these crystal grids work. So I noticed Google randomly sent me an email about the last 2 months travel, and I looked at it and I'm like, oh my god, I travel quite a bit, and I gridded 5 Moldavites and 2 Libyan. So we got one in Texas, we got one in White Sands, New Mexico, another one in Phoenix, Arizona, one in Joshua Tree. There's one in Mount Shasta, and I forgot where else, but there's five, and then 2 Libyan. So, um, oh yeah, and another Libyan in Joshua Tree. So I was kind of thinking, well, I thought I was gonna stay in San Diego for another month or two, but looking back at it, I already spent 2 months in San Diego. I was actually looking for apartments last week, just because Airbnb was getting really expensive. Um, and so right when I was about to extend, I thought I was going to take the BMW rental Ivan. And then I called them earlier this week to extend it for a few more days. And that lady ended up closing out my ticket. And so when I tried to extend it for another week, they're like, no, you need to come into the office or the main location. So I'm like, oh God. I kind of had this hunch that Ivan was done for after I completed uh, Joshua Tree. And so I was like, "Ah, I knew it. I knew it. I'm going to have to return Ivan and possibly pick up a one-way car from San Diego to the gem show, right? Because that intuitive hit came, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, but the Denver gem show, but it didn't really occur to me until we got closer to the gem show dates, which starts September 11th to the 20th. So today is the 14th. Um, but right when I knew that I couldn't renew Ivan, I knew I'm supposed to book a one-way car to Denver. And so I started looking at cars and advice for those who are like planning to do something similar, like a road trip like this. Renting car when you're dropping off at a different location, it's there's a pretty big drop-off fee. It depends, right? Probably 300, 400, I don't know, depending on the car. Just because when they drop it off another location, they lose the car or something like that. So like, man, yeah, especially when it comes to like luxury car, you can't take it out. You can't take it out of the state, or it's gonna be more expensive. And sometimes they're limited from taking out luxury cars from out of state and returning at different locations. So, little tip for you guys. So I was like, man, I don't know if I could afford getting a luxury car, driving Ivan all the way out to Denver, returning there. Because I talked to a lady and she's like, oh, we're going to have to backdate you from the day you start renting and give you the new rates for the new drop off fee. And so they're kind of giving me a hard time at the car rental place. And so I was like, intuition's like, go next door. So I'm like, okay, I can't extend Ivan. I'm just gonna go check next door. So I checked next door, and so I was looking. I booked online for the manager special before I came into Hertz rental, and then they're like, you need to wait 24 hours before we can honor that manager special. So I'm like, okay, I need a car today. So I went next door, and I talked to the person in the counter, and I was like, hey, can you help match this? And like, yeah, let me see what I can do. So he did this little thing. And so it's like, if you're going drop off, there's not that many options for drop off cars. So what kind of car are you looking for? So I'm like, maybe something big, something safe. And because I'm traveling solo 15 hours from San Diego to Denver. And so he started looking. And so we kind of agreed on the RAV4, right? I couldn't do a premium SUV driving cross country and doing a drop off fee. It's just way too expensive. And so I was like, okay, it's RAV4, it's new. I feel pretty safe with that. And so right when I gave him my credit card, next to stall next to him mentioned a Wrangler. Well, he was talking to someone else. It wasn't even me. And then right in that moment it popped up. Wrangler, a Jeep. So I asked this guy, do you guys have a Jeep by any chance? Right? Because that never even crossed my mind of getting a Jeep, just because renting a Jeep is actually pretty hard to get and they're really expensive. The guy that rented the Jeep I'm in right now just returned it and he paid $1,500 for the week. So this is the Jeep right now that I'm in. So, right, because that thought never even crossed my mind that I was going to get a Jeep, just because I don't know why it never occurred to me. And I was really sad when I had to return Jay, the black Jeep. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, do you have a Jeep I can rent? And he's like, you know what? We just have one returned. If you want to wait an hour, we're going to wash it and get it ready for you. But he hooked me up and gave me the price for whatever's going to get the RAV4 for, with a little bit upgrade option. And I have this Jeep. It's brand new 2020. I was like, oh my God, how is it even possible? Yeah, so I want to show you guys, right? Because I feel safe in the Jeep. It's just so sturdy and it's off-road and it's so perfect for me to go to all these national parks. But it's crazy because I'm starting to get, look, there's like a monk. Oh my God. That's how high vibe we are. Right? There's a monk, a few monks parked right next to us. So, I had to share because last night when I was leaving San Diego, right, we were leaving this dense energy. I just feel like an energy lift as I'm going towards Temecula, and Temecula has been, it's a wine country. I don't know, I keep getting pulled towards Temecula. I wasn't sure why, but right when I crossed it, going through the city, I just felt like clarity. I sense so much clarity, and I'll give you guys what's going on in the car, right? So I called Jay, the black Jeep, the spaceship, but this one is named David. Don't ask me, I didn't choose the name. Everything has its own consciousness, even your car. And so when you surrender your body and you tune in, you get the intuitive hit. You get randomly, it was like, why is his name David popping up? Randomly. And so I start tuning in with my intuition. This is David. So, just to give you guys like what's happening in this, it's not a spaceship. I call this the light ship. The light ship of the light goddesses. So, when you're talking about tuning in and hearing the guidance, whenever I'm driving like long distance like this, like driving is so meditative, because you're moving through time and space. And so I hear my thoughts so much clearer, and like when we're driving through this big open space, there's not a lot of people's influence. Oh my God, those monks are having the time of their lives. Okay, so to give you an idea of like what's happening in the car. So I have all my grids open. So we got smoky quartz, Ganesh. We got some azazelites in here. We got Lemurian. We got Lady Kuan Yin, the owl, and then a bunch of quartz generator. And this is more Moldavite in here. Okay, but that's not all. Okay, so last night when I drove, before I got out of the city, something told me like set up all your grids, and then yeah, I posted my I did a little video. I was like, I just felt like really uneasy, and something just told me to pull over and set up all my grids and bring out all my Moldavites. And so after when I did that, I continued driving. I just felt like this fear energy like just lift. It's really crazy. It just felt so much lighter. And all the Moldavites wanted to come out. So this is what I have. So we got one set that wanted to be later when I'm driving, I'm gonna put it on the dashboard. So that's how I was driving last night. And we got this other set of the active mode was for Joshua. And this is gonna be on the dashboard over here. But to be honest, like when the very first time I had an inventory of Moldavite in my car was 2018 with a deer accident. Remember I shared you guys of that deer, my first video, a Moldavite that's going to change my life. When I had my first inventory of Moldavite, that much energy in the car, it totaled my car. So that car was actually my career car. So I had it for a while. It had a lot of my old energy. It needed to go, right? So good thing with this car, it's brand new. So I don't have to worry about it being away. So that's why it's important for me to get a new car as I finish doing the work with Ivan, the BMW, right? And just noticing, like, the more we expand, well, for me, I noticed so much stuff breaking in my life, like falling out, like broke my phone. For some miraculous reason, my phone started working again. When it broke, the whole screen was green, but for some reason now it's working like normal. And yeah, it's insane. Like whatever is no longer vibrating in your life will vibrate out. So things will break. I have so many crystals break when it comes to like solar plexus, sacral, and when it breaks, I was like, all right, let it go, bury it. It wants to be buried somewhere, or give it to someone, because the energy is gone. It's done its work. You leveled to that energy. Now you're ready to expand to a bigger stone. So yeah, now I'm playing it in the big leagues. Well, this is a lot of Moldavite, and these are all activated from Mount Shasta and Joshua Tree. So with that being said, I am about to head over to. When I was looking at the map of what kind of national park to stop by, the Grand Stairway, Escalante National Park, like stood out. It's like on the way. It's about 4 hours from here. And I'm like, wait, Grand Stairway? What is that? So I started looking into more. And I came across this YouTube video. It's kind of eerie, actually. And he was talking about, what's it called? Noah's flood, and how this stairway was some way involved with that, or like it was part. I don't know, but I was like, he was talking about Noah's flood, and I thought it was kind of eerie because when I was at Joshua Tree, it really looked kind of like apocalyptic in a way, with the sunrise and all the smoke turning orange, looking at Mars, and all these forest national park fires in California. Right, just driving through here, you see a ton of like smoke. It's kind of eerie, and for me to turn on that video, and I'll find a link for it. I'll post it. It's something Genesis. When you look up Grand Stairway, just go down a few videos, and there's this something. The channel's called something Genesis. I'll post it when I find it. But he was talking about, the Grand Stairway and Noah's Ark and the flood, and how the stairway was created because all this level of this flooding water. I don't know. So kind of tune in to see how you feel about it. So, with that being said, I am going to head over that way, and here's something that I want to open up to, right? My client actually mentioned this a few months ago, which it never really clicked until I drove and this thought came through again. So when I make it to the Grand Stairway, I'm gonna bury this one. So this is another 5-gram Moldavite. And so the thought that came through was open up the invitation to have people contribute to this stone, right? Because money is energy. When you contribute money into something, it means your energy is part of this. So one, Moldavite is super high vibe, super high frequency. It's gonna, right? Because when I'm gridding through all these places, it's raising their vibration. And I don't know why it keeps pulling me to drive everywhere. And now I kind of get it, because working with crystal grid, the energy travels with it, and now we're connecting it and burying it. So one, what we're doing is we're gridding around the US, and it's gonna, when this is gridded to the next one, the vibration rises. And so far I've gridded 5, and now I'm heading over to the grand stairway to grid this one. So this would be the 6th Moldavite, 5 grams. So one, it helps raise the vibration of the earth, right? Because all these forest fires are having the collective being very dense. So that's why I was pulled to leave San Diego and California in general, just because the energy is starting to get really, really heavy with all these fires. And I noticed myself getting triggered so much more easily. And and now it's just like, okay, gotta clear this, help clear this energy for the collective. But for me, that's not my work right now, right? My work is to go grid these Moldavites to help raise the vibration for the frequency to go up. Because right now in California, it's dense, right? It's so much different from when I first came. Now, this last week, it just got really, really heavy. So, with that being said, I'm going to go find where to bury this, where Spirit's leading me. And I'm going to open up the invitation for you to contribute, right? So money, energetic exchange. So how do you know if you're meant to contribute to each vortex I'm going to? So I'm going to actually go back to the other vortexes and open up for contribution for that too. Find the picture of the stone that I buried there and then open it up. So what is happening? To me, I feel like each one of these vortexes activate a different set of starseeds and light workers. And so I know when I have these stones, they're going to come for them, right? I'm not worried about selling the Moldavites. I know their owners are going to come for them. It's just being in this awareness mode, just putting the word out, like, hey, I got these activated. If you feel called, come get it. So each vortex actually activates a different set of starseeds. And I noticed when I was in Mount Shasta, a huge set of starseeds actually got awakened, or a huge shift happened. And so now the grand staircase, one, we're activating, well, I'm not bringing any over to activate over there, but I'm gridding one. So when I'm gridding it and you connect to the picture, and especially if you contribute to it, then you can kind of bring your energy to that point in time, or that location. So I don't know what that means, right? Just every time you think about it, you'll always be connected to that area where it's connected. So here we have the grand staircase, Noah's flood. I don't know, something might happen at the end of the year. I don't know. But I'm getting this kind of eerie, low vibrational vibe. Just for me, it's like, is this an ego death, or is this more of a collective or a sign or a message for us to be aware of? So I don't know, tune in, see how you feel about it. So that stone, how you can start contributing, I'm going to head over there right now, but I want you to ask your intuition and use the intuition test, right? This one. So if for those who haven't heard of it, show me a yes. For me, a yes locks up. Show me a no. A no goes like this, right? So is my ring purple? Right? Is my ring red? Right? So keep trying it. When you are present and you ask, typically it always works for me. And it's just a matter of asking the right questions and like being more specific. So I want you to ask, would it be in my best interest, your best interest, right, to contribute to this grid area, this stone? Test it out, right? Show me a yes, show me a no. And then how much are you willing and able? And so just put out a number and then keep asking until you get, your intuition tells you the amount. It's really up to you. Kind of tune in. And again, right, I use this intuition test. I've learned it, and I've used it when I'm stuck in my head, I'm not able to get out of my head. Then I use the muscle test, the body test, and I just trust and surrender to whatever guidance I have. And the more I do that, it's just gotten so magical. And like insane synchronicities I've never seen in my experience in my entire life. But I know I'm being guided and led through the Moldavites. So that's how you start. Use the intuition test. If you like contributing, I'm going to open up, I'm going to link it to my Patreon or my PayPal, right? I think PayPal is probably easier. Tune in, see how much contribution, and if this is a vortex you want to connect to, I don't know, tune in. And all right, I will start with that. Heading over to the grand staircase. And it's towards it's right by the Grand Canyon, so in between there. So I'll tune in with you guys a little bit more later. But how you can start, I'm gonna put the contribution links, PayPal, in my description, and I'll see you guys out there, and talk to you soon. Timmy Doe, signing off. Bye, Ivan. Bye, Ivan. There's all my stuff. All right, we're going to the new car. Never guess what happened and what my new car is, but I'm gonna go pick it up and I'll fill you guys in a little bit. But we're saying goodbye to Ivan, and we're heading over to Denver in a new car. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll share with you guys in a little bit. Gotta pack, and then I'll see you guys. Look what car I have. What? Sahara 2020. Oh my gosh. They just washed it, and then they hooked it up. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. They just finished washing it. I got the Jeep back, except it's white for the light goddesses. So we're gonna load up and we're gonna start heading out soon. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I just left San Diego, and I'm by Temecula, and it's I thought I was gonna stop for something, or like intuition was guiding me to stop. I thought I was going to Temecula for something, but then it ended up changing, and I ended up getting grabbed some Chipotle. But when I came back out to the car, I just got this intuitive hit, like, go grab all your crystals and set up the grid in the car. So that's what I did. It wasn't right. So here we got the grid, right? So these are little generators. The more we have, the more I can hear or anchor in energy as I'm driving, right? Because I'm moving through space and time, and this is acting like an antenna. So when I'm driving long distance, I actually tune in a lot. I channel a lot of information that comes through. So it's like a 15-hour drive to me right now. It's like, I'm not going to go the whole way, right? I'm going to make a stop in between. But when I'm in the zone, I just get downloads upon downloads and downloads. I'm like, okay, what's to do next? So much more clarity. And especially we're driving through these big mountainous areas, like big open space. There's not a lot of people's auras or energies surrounding it. So I can hear my thoughts a little more clear. Also, like, all the Moldavites wanted to come out. That's kind of crazy. So here they are. Those are all the activated ones. There's still some in the back, but those wanted to sit out. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of seemed like all of them wanted to come out. And when we were leaving San Diego, I could start seeing the smoke from the fires from far away, and the sun was actually turning. I don't know. It's kind of eerie, kind of like Mars. But I just got into a hit to go grid the car before I head out again. So that's what I did. Okay, so it's 7. We're gonna drive a couple hours and then stop at a rest stop and then continue in the morning. All right, well, wish me luck, and we'll see what happens, what's gonna unfold. I'm pretty sure we may run into some forest fires along the way. So there may be some kind of detour, I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Let the water wash